Sean, talk about herbalism and benefits for people, please.
Okay, well today, to start it off, I wanted to talk about the credibility of herbs and other forms of healthcare. I like to point out that our modern medicine system, that is the medical doctors, MDs, have only been around for a few hundred years. Herbalism and other forms of healthcare have been around for thousands of years. The MDs are actually the new kids on the block. If an MD breaks from what Big Pharma or the American Medical Association says or approves of, they are soon ostracized and often lose their license. If you look in recent history, Dr. Oz made a few comments on his show that broke away from that, and he was called to the Food and Drug Administration and grilled about some of the things he had been saying, and he has had to change some of his tone down, some of his messages to the people. Often people want to know what credibility and what testing and things like that the herbals have. Well, there's not a whole lot of money in the budget for herbals to be tested. All I can say is they are plants. They've been used for thousands of years, and they have been not been known to be dangerous.
Let me ask you a question about that.
Okay.
There, back in the 90s, I believe there was a lot of herbal testing done in Germany. Is that information still being referred to and used? Do you know?
I'm not aware of any of that.
Okay,
myself.
I'll try to look that up.
Okay. When people tell me that the FDA has tested pharmaceuticals or procedures, things like that, I have to ask them, where is the FDA's laboratory at? They do not exist. There is no FDA laboratory. The FDA tests nothing. They rely on what the manufacturer submits to them as their test results on whether they approve a drug or a procedure. The FDA seldom even takes if probably never has ever taken a dangerous drug off of the market once they have approved it. One of the cases in point was Vioxx that was made by Merck. It caused people to have heart damage and things like that, and actually people died from using it. And it was Merck who finally took that drug off the market because of the liabilities. They were getting sued left and right. The FDA never said a word about it to them. Like I say, the manufacturers have a lot of money. They'll put out a new drug or something and plan to make about $10 billion off of it, say.
So it's all about the money.
And so it's all about the money. And if they have to put out $1 billion to lawsuits, they've still made $9 billion.
Oh, so they plan for that?
Usually, yes. That's what they call cost of doing business. One of the first, probably the first pharmaceutical that was put out by Rockefeller. And all it was, he put out these little bottles of cure-alls for everything. And what they were crude oil from his drilling sites that he put in bottles. All he did was put them in bottles and sold them to people.
I see.
There's a problem with licensing of alternate healers. MDs, every state in the union licenses them. They have no problem putting their shingle up, passing up as long as they pass the license test and going into business. Many years ago, the chiropractors were fighting them because they wanted to do their type of healing, and the AMA was out to destroy them, calling them quacks and everything else, and they finally took the AMA to court. And in fact, I think it went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court says, no, you cannot keep these people from going into business and doing what they want to do. Today, naturopathic doctors, midwives, and herbalists are only licensed in a few states, so they can't practice their trades either. Now, as I said, humans have relied on natural herbs for medicine for many thousands of years. Even the animals have relied on herbs when they're not feeling good, for somehow nature tells them what to eat and not eat. When the first Europeans came to the United States, a lot of these weeds that we have in our yards, the dandelions, the plantain, things like that, those all came from Europe. The Europeans used these herbs for many years to cure disease and to treat their diseases and what have you, and they brought them here. Now they're weeds. People are spending hundreds of dollars every summer to get them out of their lawns, often with the dangerous chemicals and digging them up, things like that.
Which is a travesty, because we know from the videos you did last summer, the herbs that you can actually find right in your lawn can be very helpful.
Oh, yes. And myself, I think we're probably one of the few lawns in our neighborhood that do not spray. And we've actually had some destruction of some of our plants in our yard just from overspray of the neighbors. Herbs in their natural state, just picking them up and maybe washing them off, are safe, usually, as long as you don't have an allergy to them. I do caution everybody to know what they're picking, though, because there are some lookalikes that can be poisonous and can be harmful. So always take somebody that knows what they're doing with you if you're going to pick some herbs. That's the same thing with doing mushrooms. Some mushrooms also have very good medicinal uses. Always be safe. Okay, now with the prescription, what you're taking in is a chemical. Now what they derive these chemicals from, may be from the herbs, maybe from other sources. Sometimes they'll work and somebody notices the difference right away. Herbs may or may not take a little bit longer before they work, but they contain buffers, things like that will keep you from having the side effects that you get from a prescription. Some of the things about pharmaceutical companies and what's come out in the news recently, they provide the gateway drugs to addiction. That's mostly with their painkillers like Oxycontin and stuff like that. It's caused people to become addicted right away and seeking out other forms of painkillers or whatever when the doctors have no longer given them a prescription for them. Another case in point is with vaccines. National Childhood Vaccine Injury Act of 1986. People are actually taxed when they don't know about it when they get a vaccine. And this money goes into a fund to pay for damages. Since 1986, billions have been paid out from this fund. I found information about it on the National Institute of Health and the Justice Department website. If your child or you were damaged by any vaccine, you have no way to sue the pharmaceutical companies. They have been given a free ride. Right now, if there's damages, we pay them out of this fund.
We are coming up on our 10 minutes.
Okay.
So can we plan on finishing up this very interesting talk next week?
Are you going to quit now or?
Yeah, we're just hitting 10 minutes now.
Okay.